Good morning. This is Van speaking. Level 8. We're here to do the pre-market on August 6th, 2026. Let's get going here. Starting out with our key ranges chart, which we always do. We have NQ and ES here. We watch both indexes because they lead each other around all day with levels. One will react to the levels on the other chart. And being aware of these things is really the basis of our methodology here. Let's see, we've fallen out of this value area. This is a Globex volume profile value area. We've fallen out of it on both indexes. It's giving us a likely bearish read on NQ. NQ's underperforming ES. We're down 267 points, or almost a full percentage, and ES is essentially flat. So, we're seeing again maybe that little rotation from out of the tech sector into some of the safer stocks. They're not buying bonds; they're not buying treasuries. Those are also mildly down. So we've got some rotation into some safer stocks happening. Coming down to H1 on ES, we'll be paying attention, or L1, excuse me, that's the low from the previous auction. We've got a new pre-market low on both indexes. We've just come through a lot of negative or a lot of sell volume on these treasuries, and price came down with it. NQ is particularly sensitive to those. If we go look at some of our larger time frames, here's your daily chart. We did get a reaction off of the previous swing that we mentioned yesterday in pre-market back on July 10. That's exactly where we went to yesterday before this pullback started. Now we'll see if it's a pullback or just a flat reversal, but we've dropped back below that 50, and we've got a long way to go down here. Most of our levels to the downside are already on our chart, but we certainly want to watch this one to the upside. It's a long way away now, and we can definitely be aware of these swings as we go on the lower time frames. So we have all of that on our charts. Here's 2, 5, 10, and 15-minute chart. Little resistance at that 200 on the 15, and then we fell out. We're getting some RSI down here, meaning that we're a little, the green means there should start to be some support down here because RSI is getting done up. It's not extreme yet. And there's our level L1 there, and to the downside we can watch the levels we've had in the previous days. So we've got the highs and lows from the previous 5 days on the chart already. We've run down through this target zone on the 5-minute and the 2-minute. That's pretty strong downside action. Obviously getting a lot of red volume there. We saw that with the treasuries as well. Should start to see some support here when we get into this type of, we've got double green here running on this particular chart. Let's look at the execution chart. This is where we execute our trades on levels using these midpoints here. It depends on how you have this set, but we like to watch these standard levels or psychological levels. It's kind of like if you look on options change, you'll see a lot of 5s and 0s, and that's what we like to execute around because we can reasonably expect there to be orders on those levels. Going over here, looking at these treasuries, the wind is blowing slightly bearish. So, we put that together with the structures that we're seeing, downward sloping Globex VWAP there, the 200, 21.8 price below. This is bearish. This is bearish structures on all of these shorter term time frames. So we're going to lean bearish until we get the it settles out after that first half hour you know, 45 minutes, maybe we get some more information is what we need. Uh, Crude oil is up. That's obviously a little bit bearish. VIX is low normal, so there's nothing there in that. Dow's slightly up. Dixie slightly up, slightly bearish. There's ES. We don't have we don't have SPX or QQQ or, the stocks is the semiconductors. I would guess that they're not doing well this morning with, or maybe they're flat, dragging NQ down, but we'll see. It's a little early for our sectors there. If you're hearing some types of rings and dings, that's the workspace is telling us about opportunities or extensions or changes in character. It makes noise at us to get our attention. You know, we can be hypnotized by these indexes, how slow they go. So that's back here. Let's go look at. I think we talked about these reads: lower accepted value, likely bearish, a VWAP magnet. This mix can be good for us when we get a drive like this, and then a reversal back towards VWAP. Uh, Depends on the kind of the price action, though. We'd like to see, personally for my style, I'd like to see positive gamma exposure to these dealers. So what we're saying is these are the options dealers. If they're positive gamma, it means that they're long options. They have sold more options than they have bought. And positive, it's explained what happens down here when they're above the flip point, which we are here. They tend to uh, they tend to fade price. Their algos fade price. There's no one sitting in a room doing it. This is all algorithmic. So they buy low and sell high, and it gives us opportunities to fade price too off of these levels that we watch. So this is a good regime for us now. Uh, QQQ, we don't have a good model for MDX. We pay attention to SPX. It is the sort of the mother index, right? It is the biggest market in the world. NDX is really thinly traded, so we have to look at other things. And we have a model in development that we'll get to right now. We can look at the options traders toolbox, QQQ, and guys, I suspect we have a little bit of negative gamma exposure. I'm not sure by looking at this, but it looks a little negative to me, and it's not enough to say that, oh yes, it's definitely, it's definitely we're definitely going to start hedging with price, but we have to be careful with moves to the downside, fading them. That is, we could get some sharp, strong moves to the downside, especially if it starts that way. Our economic calendar today, we had jobless claims, came in at 199. It's in the middle of a consensus. The 4-week moving average, though, is 198. So we're right on the average there. And there's not a lot of news today, otherwise, to really move the market. If you look at the kind of finish up with the playbook, we can see the jobless claims were neutral. We've got a productivity report that came out. They were bullish, and the unit labor costs were bullish. Now these aren't strong movers, but they're good for they're good for the economy in general. And we're looking at SPX here again. It's the mother index, and NQ is really a high beta volume, a high beta version of ES. So NQ has all those the biggest stocks in the world, the tech stocks, and it's sensitive to things like interest rates and everything. So usually we see NDX or NQ outperforming ES or underperforming if we're down, but it's not the case today. We have some divergence. The market backdrop, we have some of those rates to the downside. That's kind of that bearish wind blowing. Oil is up a little bit bearish. Dixie's up a little bit bearish. We have mixed options sentiment on our in the options chain today. Bear trigger here. Uh, I'm sorry, bull trigger here is hold above the Globex volume weighted average price, and the bear trigger will be to break a G-val. That's the Globex value area low. Now that's what we saw. That's what we're seeing now. I mean, it's pretty early, but ES has broken this value area low. So bearish structures everywhere, kind of falling out of current value. We may get a little, readjustment to the upside starting out, but it looks bearish right now. There's no doubt about that. Pre-market playbook. Uh, the current reads it's balancing lower. Then we get the then we get the then we get the read where we're leaving downside vulnerability. So we've got to come back up. And there's a bull plan, bear plan. Magnet is GWAP and G-POC, which is the point of control. So we're going to have a 10 o'clock reading. There's a hotel trade. It's pointing out a wholesale trade news there. And we always watch these H1 and L1 levels on both NQ and ES. That's yesterday's auction. So that's where we're at right now in the pre-market. We're definitely skewing bearish. We kind of have a mixed call on ES still. It hasn't switched over to bearish, but do that certainly if it continues past L1 or gets down to L1. We have a ways to go to get there on. We have a ways to go to get there on ES. So, hey guys, if you're obviously watching this on YouTube, you can like and subscribe here. Go to level8trading.com, join our free Discord channel. You can see how we trade these things every day. You'll get access to the playbook. Spend some time with us in the NQ room and see how we solve this puzzle every day. And I'll be back tomorrow for the pre-market. And good luck trading today.